I'd love to see a course on human anatomy taught by these filmmakers. So class, first thing you need to know is the human body is basically one big water balloon filled with red syrup. Any questions? 300: Rise of an Empire is the follow-up to Zack Snyder's 2006 ode to stylized violence, 300. We join the fictionalized take on the true battles of the Greco-Persian Wars as the Athenians and the Spartans try to stop the Persians after the ultimate defeat of Leonidas in the original 300. The film is once again based on a Frank Miller graphic novel, with the emphasis again on the word graphic. Seriously, I'm pretty sure you could actually graduate from 8 years of medical school without seeing this much blood. But you know, it's stylized and in slow motion, so it's art, right? Like some sort of big screen poetic plasma parade, each stab or slice dancing across the screen like a beautiful blood ballet. Of course, if you've seen the first one, you kind of know what you're getting into here, as this one carries on that feel about as faithfully as possible. But how does it compare in other areas? Well, I like that this one gives a fuller sense of the context of the events from the first one and fills us in on so much of the backstory of the era and characters. Even more than the first one, I feel like we're granted genuine motives and consequence for these participants in a way that benefits the story. As far as the best thing, I really like the tactical exploration in each of the battles. Maybe that makes me more of a big picture guy, but I'm more intensely drawn to seeing overall plans come together than the brute force of the hand-to-hand combat. And since a good portion of this one takes place on the open water, it offers some even more interesting maneuvering and masterminding, which I really loved. Plus, I have to say, if you can get beyond the grotesqueness of the gore, the art style really is pretty incredible, just as much so in the landscapes as it is in the lacerations. Of course, that is a big thing to get past, and for many, the graphic nature will be too difficult to survive. Also, as a quick aside, it's not just the violence that's graphic, so heads up on that. But the truth is, when the adrenaline isn't pumping, this movie can get really boring really fast. In the original, this was rectified with some rousing dialogue and speech work by Gerard Butler. But here, Sullivan Stapleton just doesn't seem quite up to the task. In fact, during his big speech that's supposed to rally his overmatched band of brothers, I found myself wondering if they were thinking to themselves, am I really going to die for this guy? Or if they were anything like me, they were thinking, I wonder where I should buy my milk on the way home. At the end of the day, 300: Rise of an Empire turns out to be a pale comparison to the original. Though the feel is the same and the war strategy is interesting and beautiful, the brutal violence and lack of non-battle momentum keep it from being anything special. I say it only musters a C+. Thanks for checking out this Your Movie Friend review. You can stay tuned for this review's best ever challenge coming up here in a bit. First, I want to throw some stuff up over here that you can click on if you want. If you'd like to subscribe, which I'd very much appreciate, you could do that by clicking the big gray subscribe button right there. I'll even give you a second. Thank you. Want to see more? You can click over here to see a review for the only other new movie that came out this week. It's the kids flick, Mr. Peabody and Sherman. Or you can click the eyes to check out a new live show I and some friends have been doing called The Critic, the Geek, and the Girl. You can also click the logo right up here to go to yourmoviefriend.com, where you can search by title for reviews. And finally, this review's best ever challenge. This is where you name the best movie ever in a particular category and also try to identify my choice. This time, let's do the best extreme violence movie ever. Mine was directed by Mel Gibson. What, that doesn't narrow it down enough? Okay. It was the one where the guy died a violent death so that others could have freedom. No? Still need more? Too bad. Just pick one. Drop your own answer and a guess at mine in the comments, and the first person to guess mine does get a point. Thanks, and don't forget to subscribe.